Sky Squad, what's going on, y'all? We in the building or what? Is we in the building? Are we in the building? Are we live and direct and in the building? Sky Squad, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and put this clip down in the description so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's in the description of this video, but I'm about to put it into the comments as well in case you guys want to watch along while I talk on some other device or something like that. Sky Squad, what's going on? Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know what you guys are doing right now. Y'all know I'm nosy, so I like to know. Also, let me know if you guys can hear me and see me clearly. It seems to be fine on my end, but you never know how these lives might go. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute since I've done a live, so I'm happy to be back with y'all. Super excited. Listen, I was live earlier today recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And let me tell you something. I was out running some errands, and then I happened to look online. And what do I see? What do I see? The season finale escapades is on the TV, okay? The season finale clip has leaked where Candiace is versus Karen. It's Candiace versus Ashley. It's Candiace versus Michael. It's Kris versus Michael. It's about to go down, y'all. It's really about to go down. I'm about to post this clip again right here so you guys can catch it. We about to go into exactly what goes on. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad you guys are here. You like the lives. Yay. How you doing? How you doing? I see y'all in the house. Thank you so much for watching those videos. All right, so let's go ahead and stage dive into the thing. Okay, shout out to the Monique and Porsha page on Instagram because I would have missed this had I not seen their page. So shout out to them for the tea. But this is also posted via Us Weekly. Okay. So let's get down with the get down and let's discuss what was going on. So your girl Candiace is going slam off on Karen Huger. She is going ham, yelling and screaming because the ladies once again confront Karen Huger about this whole situation. That's what it's looking like. All the ladies are sitting around. Candiace is going ham, okay? When I say ham, she's going ham, all right? And so Karen is, it looks like she's, calmly trying to de-escalate the situation. So this is happening at the event that I guess Robyn is throwing, the same one that we're probably going to see Juan propose to Robyn, okay? But before, I don't even know at what point that happens, but it's clear that this brawl happens at some point during the night, right? So then Michael Darby, whom I feel like might have had a little bit too much to drink, okay? I feel like he might have been a little tipsy. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a little tipsy on that one, okay? I don't know, but I just get the feeling that he was a little tips, okay? Anyway, he goes over to Chris Bassett and says that he needs to get control of Candiace because she is yelling at Karen Huger, okay? So then Chris Bassett turns around and says, Michael, you should get the F out of my face, okay? And at that point, Kris puts them paws on Michael Darby, pushing him back. So Michael Darby is screaming, are you touching me? Are you touching me? So then Michael is telling Kris he's going to go down and calls him an effing idiot, okay? So as you guys can see, Chris Bassett here does make contact with that good Michael Darby and is pushing him back through the crowd. Now, you guys can't see it here, but he basically pushes him through the crowd of people, right? Someone says, I skipped what Michael said to Kris. No, I didn't. So that's why I said, listen, I said this earlier. I said, I feel like he might have been a little tipsy. So we have this here, right? So then Wendy Asefo, she's like, you know, she needs to go get her husband or whatever. They kind of break them up, right? And then we have the ladies getting involved. So Candiace rushes over to Chris Bassett to check on him. And we have Ashley running over to check on Michael, right? So at that point, Michael is talking about he's an effing idiot and he has no restaurant and no business or something to that effect, right? It was something like that. What did he say? He says something. He said unsuccessful restaurant and no business. That's what he said in the clip, right? So then at this point, Ashley is mad. Okay, she mad. Y'all can see it on her face right there. She mad. Boo is mad. She says, oh, you want to talk ish about Monique though, right? Okay, so Monique has no self-control, but what do you have? You have no self-control, do you? But you want to cry when your wife gets hands put on her for acting a fool, okay? And you guys can see that right here. This is what Ashley is saying. And I guess she's yelling this at Chris Bassett. So she's saying to Chris Bassett, you want to cry when your wife gets hands put on her for acting a fool. And I guess she's saying, you putting your hands on my husband, okay? And now who acting the fool? That's what I'm assuming she's saying. So then Michael is screaming, okay? Michael is screaming across the room that he's going to take legal action against Chris. And for some reason, Candiace says, you want to touch me, Michael? I mother effing dare you, okay? And then Michael is yelling, I'm filing suit against your man. I'm calling my lawyer right now. He's going to jail. You're going to jail, you bald-headed F, okay? Now, whew, okay. It's a lot to unpack here, but we're going to unpack it, okay? And we're going to do it together, all right? This is Michael screaming through the crowd. Now, I must mention to you guys that at the end of this altercation, Michael does have to get sort of what we can see from the clip. Juan has to jump in the middle of the whole thing and basically, you know, tell him to shut up and settle down, right? Again, I feel like in this clip, Michael might have been intoxicated, but you know, it is what it is. I felt like it started off with him trying to do a good thing by telling Chris Bassett, you know, hey, things are getting loud, right? But it may have been his approach. I don't know. All I know was that day, Chris Bassett was like, boom, okay? And that, it was, I don't know what kind of switch went off up in him. And he was like, not today, okay? Not today. And he mushed this man so far back through that crowd. The crowd parted like the Red Sea, okay? The crowd had parted like the Red Sea as he was pushing him back through that crowd there, okay? Now, I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know what was going on with this finale, because this right here is looking epic. And it was actually, this is actually bigger than I thought it was about to be. Now, when we had heard last year that Candiace had gone off on Karen, you know, because she felt like Karen didn't have her back and wasn't taking her side enough. Now we know the actual logistics of it. It is true that Candiace was going slam off on Karen Huger, okay, at that moment, yelling, cussing. It was a lot. I ain't gonna even say it was a lot, y'all. And Karen looked like she just was trying to, again, like I said, de-escalate the situation. So Michael goes over to Candiace's man, and again, like I said, he won't have it that day. He won't have it. And so someone says that No, Candiace did not try to fight Karen from what I could see. I don't know where that came from. But they did get into a verbal dispute. She did go off on Karen, but I didn't see where as she started, she was trying to fight her. The thing that's confusing about this whole altercation is that Ashley is screaming at both Candiace and Kris, and Candiace is screaming at both Ashley and Michael in retaliation. Just so you guys are clear on what's actually happening, because I had to sit here and dissect it a couple of times and really grab the screenshots. And I would play it for you guys, but you know how sometimes the networks be a little crazy, and I don't want to, have nothing happen. And I just try to respect the process, right? Now Jaja says, what initiated the argument? The argument between who? We don't know what initiated the argument between Karen and Candiace as of yet, but what initiated the argument between Chris Bassett and Michael is Michael telling Chris Bassett, he needs to go get his wife and calm her down because she was yelling and screaming. So Diva says right is right and wrong is wrong, and in this situation, everybody is wrong. I gotta tell you, it looks like everybody wrong in this situation. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm gonna give you guys my thought on the situation. Clearly in this situation, Michael looks inebriated. I gotta go ahead and let you guys know that. I mean, and for me, it's like you gotta kind of, I don't know, again, he's inebriated, and y'all know how people get when they get inebriated. They get to feeling themselves, and then they get extra crazy, okay? Now, I got to also say this. This is another instance of, yet again, Candiace being sort of the common denominator in a lot of the drama on the show, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing. Now, it's a bad thing when you are wishing someone would do something to you, and that's what happened to you in the first place. You just finding yourself in the same situation all over again. That's a problem that you need to correct, okay? That's a problem. I want to address this. Simone Lovey says the ladies get paid to, is it argue? That's not what they're paid to do. To be quite honest with you, when you're on a reality show, you're paid to live your life. Now, in and of that, there should be organic drama. But if you are inferring that they are getting paid to argue, then you're inferring that everything that we see on the screen is simply for the sake of getting a paycheck, in terms of I'm going to create an argument with this person. And some people do go on the show with that intent because they know that is what's going to get them a coin. Some people, and sometimes it's a mistake. Sometimes people will go on a reality television show thinking that they're going to live the most authentic lives, and then not realizing that there are other people on there who are just wanting to create chaos because they need to secure that next check for the next season. Okay. Now, it has been my experience, and I don't want, and I know that you guys have a third eye and you understand it too. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that. But I'm going to tell you this. If you look, it is normally the people who have the least going on that have to do the most in order to stay on the shows. Now, y'all might disagree with me on that, but let me put it to you like this. If you have a lot going on in your personal story, you are not really worried about creating drama for the sake of drama. Okay? You may accidentally fall into some, but you're not creating storylines for the sake of creating some friction so that you get all this attention on you. Now, you may want to promote your products. You may want to have parties and functions and do this, that, and the third. But if you got a lot going on in your life and you have a great personal story, you won't ever need to worry about creating drama with another cast member in order to remain relevant. Because what happens at that point is the person that does that, the producers will see that you only work best in conflict. Okay. Now I'm sure you guys can look at some of your favorite reality TV stars, and when you really look back, you peel back the layers, you can see this person functions the best in drama. They function better when they fighting against somebody. Y'all ever thought about that? Okay. Now, this is a good question. Kandi says, so what do Robyn really have going on? Nathan, not Nathan, not Nathan, not Nathan. Okay. Nathan. That would be it. Now, that's not to say that I don't like Robyn. I like Robyn. Down deep, I do. Down deep, I like Robyn. But the problem with Robyn is oftentimes too stuck under Gizelle's shadow in order to really succeed and really be the great housewife that she could potentially be. Okay? That's just that on that. That's real. Y'all know this. Y'all know that. Come on. Agreed. She could be a friend of the show at this point. Let's keep it. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade, right? Taylor says she's codependent. So you got to look at it like that. Now, I'm looking at any of the other comments. And when listen, so I see some of the squad members in the comments defending me when someone says that I'm biased. I don't care if you call me biased. It doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, my job is not to come on here and tiptoe in the middle. I don't care about that. I'm going to give you guys the situation as I see it. That's that. That's what especially on a live, that's what this is for. This is where we can have a real dialogue back and forth. That don't bother me. And the other thing about this is people think that I dislike Candiace. I was watching somebody else. Here's the thing. In general, no one dislikes Candiace. No, it doesn't benefit me to dislike any of these ladies to the point where I need to be negative about them. But when I look for patterns of behavior, and I look for behavior, and I look for problems. Like, what is the problem here? And in this situation, a lot of times the common denominator tends to be Candiace. And I like Candiace. First season, she was. I thought, okay, this girl is gonna be. I loved her on the show, right? But in terms of what she does on the show sometimes, and then especially what she does offline, is similar to Kelly Dodd. Andy Cohen said last night, he said this is something interesting. He said about Kelly Dodd, he said, Kelly, nobody's really talking about what you're doing on the show. Everybody's talking about what you're doing on social media. And he asked her, he said, have you ever stopped and just said, let me think before I tweet? And I kind of, it worked. It's two parts with Candiace. I feel like I wish she would think before she tweets. I don't see nothing wrong with that. But I also think that she pokes the bear, and she likes to poke at people. And then when they bite back, you can't be the victim and be the poker or the villain at the same time. Like, you got to pick a struggle, pick one or the other, and own it. That's it. That's all. That's the bottom line. Agree or not agree. Now, what I will say about this too is Ashley confuses me, because Ashley is a bit of a pot mess herself. Okay. She's a bit of a pot of mess. These past couple of episodes, I've been watching her, and it seem to me, and I think we talked about this on All About the Tea panel. Don't it seem to y'all like Ashley's working overtime to put the heat on Karen about what Karen is doing so that the ladies don't come so hard at her for being friends with Monique. It's like, oh, yes, I wrote a letter in defense of her, but look, Karen invited her to her event. Karen is drinking around Monique, but not you guys. Karen is doing this and Karen is doing that. It just seems kind of like she's working overtime to get everybody to be looking at Karen and not at her. Y'all feel me on that? I don't know. Thank you, Simone, for liking and subscribing. Yup. So I don't know. I'm side-eyeing Ashley a little bit. I got to tell y'all the truth about that one. I'm side-eyeing her too. I am. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. You know, and yes, Karen will be fine because Karen can't wiggle her way out of any situation. Y'all know that. Karen gonna wiggle her way on out of it. She gonna talk in circles and get out of that situation, whatever it is. And I like, and again, some people say I go a little soft on Karen, and I but I feel like what I don't see from Karen that I see from some of the other ladies is Karen don't be poking and prodding at people. She does retaliate, in her own shady way, but she responds to people. Like, she never would have had to respond to Robyn had Robyn not come after her and ask her if she was not drinking because she was afraid of something that she would say when she got drunk. So she popped off on her. Okay. So I just kind of feel like, and you guys will see, I did an interview that's coming out tomorrow. You guys will see in the interview, somebody echoes the same sentiment that I just said about Karen. Okay. You guys will see that. I'm just reading you guys' comments right now. Pamela, you see it too. You see it too, Shar. Right. Oh, somebody said something good. Sharif said this. Karen isn't malicious. She's not just coming at people for the sake of just coming at them and just trying to destroy their life and their peace. She's coming at people in retaliation to things that they have said and done to her. And that is the reason why she came at Gizelle so hard this season, I believe, is because Gizelle spent so much time disparaging LaDame in previous seasons, coming after Ray, calling him Uncle Ben, making fun of their tax issues. Anything that Karen had going on, they have tried to tarnish the reputation of her businesses. They have insulted her businesses. They have made fun of her businesses ever since she ever since she started her LaDame fragrance discovery phase. They made fun of that. And, at the end of the day, it's like this, when someone is, she didn't do that with Robyn when Robyn started her headline. She went over there and she sat there and she supported. And she was yet again attacked because of a lie that Gizelle had told Wendy. Okay. So for me, it's like, you look at the patterns of behavior. And I try to tell y'all that all the time. Look at the patterns. Look at the people who are attacking the other people the most, and look at the people who have to defend themselves. And so then when the person who is defending themselves pops all the way off, everybody upset. Oh my God, oh my God, she went so hard at so-and-so. Well, what do you expect when people keep poking at you? And those people that are doing the poking are usually the ones who are trying to self-produce and create story out of nothing. Natural conflict is this. Here's a great example of natural conflict. Remember when Wendy first came on the scene and they went on the trip to Newburgh? Wendy got upset at Ashley, like it seemed unreasonably upset with Ashley, right? Because that was out of circumstance. That was situational. She didn't have some sort of vendetta against Ashley. Something that happened with her triggered her anger. Okay, that was natural. That was her in her natural element, I'm mad and upset because I could have brought my baby. Like, nobody told me that. Now, whether you thought she was right or wrong, I can respect that it was natural. It didn't, this was not some type of plot behind the scenes. Does that make sense to you guys in what I'm talking about and why I feel like I don't go so hard on Karen? Because I feel like she's reacting to the things that have been done to her. Bottom line. Going through you guys' comments. I ain't had a chance to sit and chat with y'all in a minute, okay? So you know I'm trying to get all, I'm trying to make sure I see everybody, what everybody got to say. Oh, somebody said something about Monique had been poking at Candiace the entire time. Okay, so, and here's another thing. And this is what I should say this when I give you this caveat. The situation between Monique and Candiace is, I feel, unique in that I don't think that either one of them went into that altercation with the intention to have a physical altercation or with the intention to do each other dirty. I feel like these were two friends who became very annoyed with each other and did not have a conversation with each other to communicate their dismay with each other. Specifically, I think that Monique should have had a conversation with Candiace to lay down what her boundaries were again. Okay. Now, they had the conversation in the beginning. I feel like when she felt upset with her, she should have had a separate conversation with her. Similarly, I felt like Candiace went into the Newburgh weekend with some feelings about Monique as well, but she still went to her house. They could have had a whole conversation, a whole little ponderosa around the dinner table or privately with each other while they were there that entire weekend or whatever days they was there. That's what should have happened. And that would have, I believe in my spirit, that would have eliminated this entire situation between the two of them, because they could have deaded that a long time ago had they just had a conversation. Think about it in real life. And I'm sure this happens to you guys too. You ever have a friend that you just be annoyed with? Like, I don't even know, like, you just like everything you doing right now, it's just bothering me. It's just bothering me, but you don't say nothing. And I read a quote. Let me tell you something. I read this quote today and it just touched my spirit. I had to repost it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, and that ain't a plug for you to follow me on Instagram, but I'm just letting you know, I posted it on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, give me 1 second, because it's real good, y'all. It's real good. I don't see it. Instagram, I hate Instagram right now. They be doing some crazy things. Work with me, y'all. Work with me. The quote said this: letting things slide to keep the peace only starts a war inside of you. Now think about that. I'm going to say it for you one more time. Letting things slide to keep the peace only starts a war inside you. So the person who suffers the most from not expressing how they feel is the person inside you. So I feel like that's what happened with both Monique and Candiace. They both had residual feelings because they was both in their confessional, sort of shading each other, but nobody was talking about it. And they then have to talk about it in front of the group after drinking. Now, we started this whole conversation talking about how when people drink, what happens? Things get rowdy. Things get rowdy when sensitive subjects come up. Hence, Michael Darby drinking, him rolling up on Chris Bassett. It won't the day for Chris Bassett. What happened? What happened next? This happened. Okay. So that's what I think about that, because I felt like I needed to respond to that question. I do think also too that there are some things that Candiace needs to work on as well in terms of just levels of maturity. But I think that's going to come in time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come in time. She may not be there right now, but hopefully it'll come. Right? Oh, y'all so silly. Yeah, it's about emotional intelligence. You know, it's about responding to situations appropriately. It's about, you know, doing those sorts of things. The work that's really, and I feel like, and I gotta say this, man, we missed such a good moment with seeing more of her work through those anger issues. I wish we could have seen some more of that because I felt like we didn't really get to that. But moving right along. What else y'all got to say real quick? What else y'all want to talk about? Somebody said this is the longest conversation about a hair pull. God, yes, it's been about 9 episodes of it. Yeah, you know, the bottom line is that you know, it was a little reckless. I mean, you know, she's still threatening people. You know, it's like you gotta know when to stop, right? You gotta know when to stop. Especially, you can't threaten people if you feel like you're gonna threaten people, you got to be able to throw some hands. Because if you can't throw no hands, don't say nothing to nobody. That's what you don't. That's what you just don't say nothing. Okay. Don't threaten nobody. Don't get in nobody's face. If you can't throw no hands, you just stand 8 feet away and say what you got to say and move on. Okay. But you can't be threatening people and then think that they're not supposed to do nothing when you ask them to do it. Like, that's just, would you do that in the streets? Would you do that? No, you would not do that. You know? Pamela said the mouth usually doesn't match the hands. Because I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Oftentimes, people with hands, they don't really talk, they don't do a lot of yelling and screaming. They really don't. That's just what I have learned in my own personal experience with seeing people and watching people, how people move. People that got hands, they don't do a lot of talking. Nope. Yep. They just, you're gonna work them the wrong way and they're gonna pop off. And that's gonna be that. That's what works in the real world. Now, I know y'all expect something different on reality TV, but that's not how it works, okay? I'm just trying to tell you. Christopher said, talk with these hands. Hold on. Yeah, I like this. Riz says, production should have made both parties sit. Oh, no. Not this. I thought, my bad. Riz says production should have made both parties sit out and bring on another housewife because now it's legal and not just for TV. I thought this comment initially said production should have made them both sit down with each other. That's what I do think that production should have done before it got to that point. But obviously, you know, that did not happen. Thank you, Sharif, for the super chat. It says not right, but what did Candiace expect? Exactly. Like, what do you expect? Honestly, Jenny, I'm just trying to tell people, like, you got to understand how to move out here in the world. Like, you in the real world, you can't. I would not advise you do it. If you ain't got no hands, you shouldn't have no mouth. Just my thought. Tish, I'm not going. Tish noted. I see your comment. You are cracking me up right now. Yeah, you're right. Ms. Pizarro says, I feel both should have talked about it instead of letting the girls fuel the fire. Whew. All right, y'all, listen. Have I told y'all I love y'all for real. Like, I ain't had a chance to really sit with y'all and tell y'all I love y'all. I be missing y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I be trying to pump out these videos. You know, yesterday I put out 3, and I be just trying to, you know, keep this thing going, you know? Thank you. I love you guys. Listen, that's the tea for this with this whole situation. I'm gonna place the link again in the description as well as in the chat. In case you guys did not see it earlier, you guys can watch it here. And let me know what you think. We got a lot to look forward to with this finale coming up. I would not be surprised if we get a preview for the reunion tomorrow, since we're getting this clip today on a Thursday. So be on the lookout, because Bravo has been really dropping a lot of good stuff for us. So I feel like we probably will get a clip of the reunion or reunion trailer tomorrow. So if we do, you know what, I'll try to jump back on here and do it live and chop it up, you know, so that we can talk about it again. But listen, guys, I love you. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands and stay safe. Keep your masks on, and I will see you guys in the next video.